I'm Sally, the branch manager for Larose Library in Lafourche Parish. And today we're going to be doing a personalized coaster. Hope you enjoy this.
We have a ceramic tile. We have clear packing tape. We have a scissor. We have a bowl of water. And we have some computer graphics. All right, our first step is to have some computer graphics, something that you want to put on your coaster. I'm using something that I've already printed. If you're using an inkjet printer, print it and make sure to pause about 20-30 minutes before doing this to make sure the ink is dry enough, because it does tend to rub off more in the process than if you were to let it sit for a little bit. We are going to make sure we have something that's going to fit on the size of the tile that we're going to be using. So we're going to take our graphics and some packing tape. When you put the tape on, you want to make sure you don't bubble up the tape, so you are not to mess up the graphics. So this, let me see, I just did a little bit, but I fixed it. You want to make sure it is completely without bubbles. It doesn't matter about the excess because we are going to cut it off. And when you do this, if you have something that's bigger than a normal piece of tape, just overlap it. Just make sure you have a little bit of a gap, an overlap. I would go at least a ½ inch to make sure it's strong when it's taped together. And we're just going to do another little piece. Like I said, it bubbled a tiny bit, but it should work fine. You don't want it to not to bubble, because then the tape won't grab onto the ink from the paper. So you have your graphics on that is pressed really well onto the tape. You're going to take your scissor and you're going to cut that excess off all the way around. And this is what your graphics look like after it's been prepped. I had one already made that was put to the side. And you want to make sure that the design is gonna fit where your tile is, so we know what it's gonna look like once you take the paper off. And you're wondering, how are we gonna take the paper off? Well, this is where our bowl of water comes in. You don't need a large bowl of water. You need a bowl that's long enough to fit your graphics in it. What we're going to do is we're just going to put it in and let it soak for about a minute. All right, it's been soaking for a little while, and you're going to have your paper that we're going to gently rub. You do not want to use your nails or sharp objects, but all we're doing is rubbing gently with your fingers. And you're going to see the pulp of the paper coming off. And this, once you rub it away, will leave the graphics. You just do this until you get all the paper off. And you're just gently rubbing. And this would be a great activity to get the kids involved in it. All right, we have finished rubbing off all the paper pulp off of the tape, and it's leaving just the ink attached to the tape, and you can see that it's see-through. Now we are ready to put the graphics on to the tile, and you can see I have a little bit of water that dripped on there, and that's going to work in our favor. We're just going to lay it down, and because it's wet, it's not sticky right now. And it's going to allow us to wiggle the tape or slide it around to position it where we want it to be permanently left. And that looks about centered. I'm going to hold one side and I'm going to pass my fingers over it. This is going to do two things. It's going to take the excess water and any air pockets out of it. We don't want it to have any pockets underneath, including extra water. Notice I'm holding each side because it does slip around a little bit, and it's fine if it does shift a little, which it did a little bit, and because it's still wet, it's still movable. I could still pull this right back up if I want to until it dries completely. And that looks about centered, and I'm going to take a towel and just pat down the excess water on top. And I'm just going to check to make sure we didn't have any extra air bubbles or anything that I might have missed. Once it's dried, the top of it's dried, it will take about 24 hours for the underneath to really dry hard on there, for it to seal, because once it does dry, the tape will become tacky again, so it's going to seal itself to the tile. And that is how you make a personalized coaster. Hi, this is another tile that we made about a month ago. I just wanted you to see, once it's dry, that it is on, it's attached really well. One of the other things that you could do also to protect your furniture is to buy pieces of felt and cut it to size so you could glue it to the back of the tile, and that way it will not scratch up any furniture or tabletops. All right, hope you enjoyed this craft. Have a good day.